soul-lifting music, live divining programs, up-to-date news, back-to-back entertainment, in-depth sport analysis. This is GVBN. We go the extra miles for you. We are the platform of discovery.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers, wherever you've been opportune to watch and listen to us. This is GVBN, the best online radio TV in West Africa. This is World of Animals on God Vision Broadcasting Network. It's your anchor. I'm your host this afternoon, Ajayi Solomon, where we talk about wildlife. We talk about animals, different kinds of wildlife. We talk about their importance, everything relating to this animal. That's what we do on World of Animals. In case you are just joining us, that's what we do. I welcome you in the name of the Lord and also in the name of the pioneer of this great platform, Baba Ojo Tisa. Welcome to the program World of Animals. Last week we were talking about the giant spider, tarantulas. The overview of tarantulas I explained last week. The habitation, I described it, their taxonomy, etymology, everything related to tarantulas. And because of our time, we are not opportune to continue. I also explained how they kill their prey, like how their digestive system and also their respiratory system. So today I'll be having Scott from Coventry, Great Britain. We'll be on this program where we are going to co-host. He will explain to us more about tarantulas, about these spider, everything related to tarantulas. So if you have any questions to ask me or Scott, feel free to drop it in the comment section or call the studio line +23480 21793318 +2348021 793318. Scott will be live with us on World of Animals today, this afternoon from the United States, to talk more about tarantulas. And in case you are just joining us, the program World of Animals is live with Ajayi Solomon. Good afternoon. Yes, now we have Scott in the studio with us. Good afternoon, Scott Tasker.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, how are you doing? How's been your day?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you very much.
Yeah, can you please give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my name's Scott. I'm from the UK, in a town called Coventry, which is roughly in the centre of the UK. I run a YouTube channel called Scott's Inverts, where we do unboxing of tarantula mystery boxes. We also look at the care and husbandry of these tarantulas as well, which is exceptionally important because prior to about 10 years ago, people were just buying tarantulas and literally just put them in tiny little plastic tubs, thinking that's how we look after spiders. But when you look into the environment and you see how these guys are kept and actually how they live in the wild, that's what we're now looking at and trying to recreate that in our homes. So what I'm trying to do is get information out there via the channel and other social media platforms to try and get better care, better husbandry for the species that we keep at home.
All right. Thank you very much for honoring our call this afternoon.
Very, very welcome.
Yeah. Now, can you please explain to us, because we don't have much of our time, so we could talk more about tarantulas. Can you please kindly explain what tarantulas are to us? What are they?
Yeah, sure. Tarantulas are generally regarded as the bigger spider species, although the biggest spider in the world is actually a true spider. But what the difference between true spiders and tarantulas is, the tarantulas have fangs which face downwards like so they strike this way. So they're going to bite, they flick their legs up in the air and they strike like this. Whereas true spiders, they tend to do this instead with their fangs. So that's the main difference between normal spiders and tarantulas. Also, tarantulas tend to be a lot bigger bodied, and their legs are usually a lot thicker as well. And then I would say in general they're not as quick as the true spiders, but there is some exceptions to that rule as well. So there we go.
You're saying tarantulas are more or less like a giant spider?
Yeah, more or less like a giant spider. People seem to be more attracted to tarantulas because, like I said, their size, they're more more visually appealing, if you like, as well as a lot of the true spiders with the tiny sort of bodies and the long thin legs. I think people get quite scared about keeping those.
Okay, now, so in a layman's sentence, you're saying tarantulas are the giant spider with airy look.
Oh yeah, giant spiders of the world, most definitely. You start looking at the Goliath bird-eating spiders, which is the Theroposa blondie, the Apophysis, and the Sturmy. Those guys get absolutely huge, literally like the same size of a dinner plate. So you're looking at sort of 11 to 15 inches leg span. The Apophysis is actually the world's biggest tarantula because of its leg span. The Theroposa blondie is the world's heaviest tarantula in the world.
Right.
So these guys are absolutely massive. With the biggest spiders in the world that I've just spoke about, the Theroposa the genus, their venom isn't very harmful and it isn't very strong to humans, which is also a bit of a positive when we're keeping these guys. But their defensive mechanism is flicking hairs. So their abdomen, which is the big fat bit at the back, you guys might refer to it as being the bum, is covered in hairs, and they will flick those hairs up at you and around their burrows as well in defence. Now these hairs that they flick can be extremely irritating, especially from the world's biggest tarantulas. And when we're talking irritating, I keep a Theroposa blondie. If I take the lid off to do a bit of maintenance, those hairs will make me itch for at least 2 weeks after having contact with that spider.
So I'm very sure you know a lot about tarantulas. Now, what are the habitation and diets?
My focus is more about the husbandry and the care in the home and how we look after spiders, and trying to get that information out there to absolutely as many people as I possibly can.
Okay. Now, what is the habitation and diet of tarantulas? Where can they be found? Where do they live? And what do they eat?
Okay, so they live mainly in the warmer parts of the world. So America, Eastern Europe, obviously Australia, Africa. We don't get any in the UK. Their main diet is crickets, locusts, dubia roaches, the Mexican red runners, basically smaller insects. They although some of them actually name bird-eating spiders, they don't actually eat birds. That is a myth. What happened there was hundreds of years ago, when the explorers first went over to these places to try and look for spiders, they come back with horrific stories to hopefully get people's imaginations going to get funding for their next trip. But what they do eat also is they'll eat worms when they're a bit smaller. They'll eat flies, obviously when they're tiny babies. They will also take, especially more the bigger species, will take small lizards, frogs and small toads. and that type of stuff. They will also eat each other if opportunity arises. So tarantulas are not a social animal; they're not to be kept together. In fact, when the male and the female breed, 9 times out of 10, the female will actually eat the male directly after breeding. And what this does, it will send much higher nutrients down into that female to help with the egg sac, to give the babies a better chance of surviving in the wild. But that's what they eat: small insects. And small rodents as well as, but mainly small insects and small lizards, small frogs, that type of thing. If anything comes towards its burrow, basically.
All right. So they eat mostly insects.
Mostly insects.
Mostly
insects.
All right. Now, from what you're saying now, from the habitation, you said they can be found in Austria, in the United Kingdom, in the United States of America, in Africa, also in Asia.
Yep, that's definite. Yep.
All right now.
Asian fossorial and arboreal tarantulas are well known in our hobby. So things like the Chiropagapus lividum, which is a cobalt blue, that's found over in Asia in places like Thailand and Borneo. You also get the Sabar blue, which is a very pricey tarantula in the UK. That is over there. You also get the Pelithia regalis. Now the pokies are exceptionally collectible where I am in the UK. They're all across India. Over towards Africa, I do keep species from Africa as well as. So the orange bitey thing, which is a common name, the Pteronoculus marinus, the orange tarantula that tends to rear up and bite you several times. I've got those in. We keep those as well as. Also the Mikumi. So the Mikumi is from the Mikumi area, which is the dark colour form as well. So we keep those as well. We call those the dark bitey thing, which is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
We also keep the New Worlds from America, so we're looking at stuff from Mexico as well as, so the Brachypalma, the Tiliticatl genus, so that's your curly hairs, which are absolutely perfect for a beginner. We keep those as well as, and they mainly live down in burrows, and that's because they want to keep away from the heat of the day.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Now, what is the wild status of tarantulas? Like, are they endangered?
Yeah, there's several that are endangered. In fact, the Tiliticatl genus and the Brachypalma genus, which used to come out of Mexico now have banned the export of those spiders, and that's because in the wild their population is dwindling. And also the Pelithia, the pokies, there is a lot of those that we can't actually keep in captivity because they're on a list of what's known as CITES. So when we look at buying tarantulas in the UK, we always double check on the CITES list to make sure that we can actually legally keep them. Things like pokies and, like I just said, the Brachypalmas and the Tiliticatls, it has been suggested that in the UK we could possibly breed them here in captivity to be released into the countries of origin. But there is a massive problem with that, and that is we need to do DNA tests to make sure these spiders are 100% pure to what they are, because there has been crossbreeding in the past. The curly hair, you have the Tiliticatl albiposus, which is the curly hair tarantula. We have the hobby form, which is the one where something's been added, so it's been crossbred at some point, and then we have the true form, which is the one which is actually from Nicaragua over in Mexico. So it is a bit of a shame what's going on as well at the moment, because a lot of them are being brought illegally into the UK as well as. So this isn't, this is a worldwide problem for all animals. People want to make quick money, and it's very easy for them to sort of ship tarantulas and wild tarantulas and true spiders across the world without any issues. In fact, in the UK, the customs aren't very up on things like tarantulas, centipedes and insects. They'd rather be looking at mammals and reptiles, which is a massive shame. In fact, in the UK, there is a couple of illegal species like the T. celadonia, which is quite happily displayed all over Facebook on people's profile pictures and on their Instagrams as well. That is an illegal species to keep in the UK, yet the authorities here don't seem to do as much about tarantulas and insects as what they do about mammals and reptiles. So it's a bit unfortunate, but in the wild, a lot of the problem is in places like Borneo is the forests are being deforestation's taking place. So unfortunately, as the habitat disappears, so are these spiders. There's also spiders that we don't even know exist yet because they're not known to science, that are in these places, which could be extinct because of our greed. So we're going in and taking out those forests where they live, not even knowing that they're there, which is a mind-blowingly painful to kind of think about. It's not only the spiders that live there, as
so
well
now,
as birds, and
Scott,
animals.
sorry for cutting you short. Scott, you're saying now that deforestation is part of the reasons why tarantulas are endangered.
Yes, definitely.
All right. And now, is it true that in Cambodia and Venezuela, they eat tarantulas? What do you have to say? Are you in support of eating tarantulas or killing tarantulas?
Now, the spiders that I've seen eaten are the Lasdora parabama. They have up to 3,000 babies, so they're pretty good. They're pretty sustainable in the wild. But yeah, they get eaten. But then these are villagers that have done this practice for thousands of years, so they're not. That's not the problem. The issue is people like, animal importers, illegal animal importers, going and literally robbing hundreds and hundreds of spiders from out the wild. Sorry. So the spiders that are being actually eaten aren't in danger. They're not on the CITES list. So I can't see an issue with that because people eat different things. I mean, I like bread, and I like toasted bread.
We all have different diets.
You guys might eat something else. So I can't see an issue with that, as long as that spider is obviously sustainable in the wild.
Okay. No, so now the main reasons why they are one of the endangered species of wildlife is deforestation.
Definitely.
All right,
Definitely.
now, Scott, kindly explain the lifespan and the reproduction of tarantulas.
Yeah, sure. So a female tarantula can live anywhere between 15 to 25 years.
The female?
Which is... Yeah, the female of the species,
all right,
lives anywhere between 15 to 25 years. Now, the males live between 3 to 5 years. So the whole idea of the male, the whole point of the male is to mature, find a female, reproduce, and then that's him done. So yeah, this is... But you need the right weather conditions, you need the right temperatures, what have you, for the male to actually be able to reproduce with the female, and he still runs the risk, and it is an absolute massive risk of being eaten by the female. So if the female does not feel comfortable, she will munch that male, and then that's another generation that could have possibly been there, not been there. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they do. What happens is the male matures, and it's got its front legs. And when it matures, it has hooks on its elbows, just there. And then what the idea of that is, when it comes up to the female, they both lift their legs up in the air, and he hooks her up in the air. So those hooks attach onto the female. This keeps him safe and stops him from being eaten at the point of insertion. And the pedipalps, which are on the front, he drums away at the underneath of the female, and where her slit is, he inserts the sperm. Now, the sperm doesn't come out of the pedipalps, it actually comes out from underneath the tarantula. So what the male tarantula does is creates a sperm web. This is absolutely mind-blowing stuff. The sperm web, he'll create a web which is looks like a hammock, and then he'll go underneath that web, leave sperm underneath the web, then he'll come out again, go on the top, and then he'll literally suck it up into his pedipalps, ready for when he finds a female. Absolutely amazing to watch. I have done a couple of videos on sperm induction.
All right. Thank you very much for that explanation of the reproduction and the lifespan of tarantulas. Now, Scott, stay with us. After we are back from this short commercial timeout, you will explain to us taking care of tarantulas as a pet. What are the steps we need to do? What are the things we need to take note of? After this commercial timeout, will you tell us more? So just stay tuned with us, Scott. I'm sure you're with us.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, if you are listening to us at home, you have any question for Scott, drop it in the comment section or call the studio line. After this commercial timeout, we'll be right back. The program is still World of Animals on your Daily station. GBBN. Stay tuned.
Are you preparing your wards or children to excel for an upcoming examination? Then fed from the well of knowledge by getting copies of Enoch Ojotisa's Cries from the Ocean and Commoner Speech. Both books have been approved and recommended for use in schools by Oyo State Ministry of Education and Osun State Ministry of Education. This is an opportunity for schools, education institutions to get Cries from the Ocean and Commoner Speech at discount price from Ajayi Art House, as numerous WAEC, NECO and other external examination questions will be from the books. To get copies of Cries from the Ocean and Commoner Speech, contact Ajayi Art House on 002-519-7198 or 0705-100-5142. Email info@ajayiarthouse.com or visit their website www.ajayiarthouse.com. Cries from the Ocean and Commoner Speech. Go get a copy. Real estate are the safest investment in the world. Properties that cannot be lost, stolen, or carried away if purchased with a reliable and safest consultancy in the world. Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited. Yes, Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited are experts in estate consultancy, property management, and property development. Are you looking for the best real estate property manager? Contact Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited today for a reliable service. Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited is located at number 7 Babalola Business Street off Lodge Street, direct road from JVM Hospital, Limfalafia, Ibadan. Telephone 0805-621-9190 or 0706-556-0002 or send a mail to benzol.conigLtd@yahoo.com. At Benzo Nigerian Limited, it's tangible, it's solid, it's beautiful.
Makers Global Resources is back again in grand style. Makers Global Resources is a reputable company that sells non-dispute lands and properties with no court case at cheaper amounts. Don't miss this ample opportunity, for now it's your time to own your property. At Makers, we also build and design houses in Ibadan. We have land in Alabata, Ajayi, Akinyele, Soka, among others. In Lagos, we have land at Lekki, Epe, Etiosa, also at Ejibode. Modern houses with jacuzzi and CCTV are at Lekki, Lagos at affordable prices. For those who want to buy property abroad, especially in UK, Canada, USA, and other countries, Maker Global Resources is a collaboration with Aram Property Services Limited in the United Kingdom to make everything easy for our esteemed customers. Contact Makers at Suite 8, Post Service Housing, opposite Eleyele Post Office, Ibadan. Telephone 080-647-45455 or +120-493-01627. Makers Global Resources Limited, become landlord with no stress.
Yes, welcome back from the commercial break. The program, your program, World of Animals, continues. And do not forget that the program is open for sponsorship and advert placement. Reach me on the number +23470-6589-4088. Thank you. Scott, are you still with us?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for being with us. We have a question for you from one of our listeners here. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, now, we have a question from Olusegun Ajayi Richard. He says, what is the economic importance of tarantulas and are they harmful to humans?
Are they harmful to humans?
They are harmful.
Yeah, some of them carry an extremely potent venom. So there's not been any deaths related to tarantula bites. But if you're looking at something like a Stromatopelma calcitium, they are exceptionally painful. So they're going to put you in hospital. The Indian stuff like Polythiaria, if you get bit by one of those, it's going to be an extreme pain sensation. You're going to experience nerve damage and stuff like that. The OBT over in Africa, as well as that carries a sustainable bite. So they don't carry medically significant venom, although they can do quite a lot of damage to you. The medically significant damage, the ones that are really going to do some severe damage to you, are the true spiders, not the tarantulas. Although the tarantulas will put you in hospital purely because of the pain and the swelling and the inflammation that you get around the bites. New World tarantulas, 9 times out of 10 they bite you. You don't really feel that much. It's more like up to about a bee sting. 9 times out of 10 it's not even a bee sting. The old world stuff is the ones that can really do some damage.
All right, now so they are harmful to humans. Now, what is their economic importance to the society?
To keep them in captivity or them being in the wild?
The ones in the wild and tarantulas at large.
Okay, so in the wild, it's important to keep them where they are because obviously they're all part of the food chain. They all help to keep the bioactive forests, keep those going, as well as. Sorry?
Are you still with me?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you asked me something.
No, continue.
Okay, so they're in the wild. They also provide a food source to other animals as well as. So if you imagine that food chain, if we take the spiders out, then obviously there's going to be a bit of an issue. They also are like a cleanup crew. So the smaller insects and stuff like that, which they feed on, would then obviously become a massive problem in the areas where these spiders are if they were to be removed completely from out of the wild.
So you're saying now and proving that they are important to the society.
Definitely.
Yes, it's circle of life. So they are important to us. We are important to them.
As part of the circle of life, definitely important to us. Financially, in the wild, they're of no significance financially if they're just out in the wild. But that's their habitat. That's their home. That's the areas that we're invading. You know.
Yeah. Now let's talk about taking care of tarantulas as a pet.
Okay.
Is it legal or is it proper to have tarantula as a pet? Let's start from there.
Okay, so it all depends in which country you're in to which species you can keep. For us, the majority of tarantulas are completely fine to be kept here at home. There are a few that we're not allowed to keep, such as a T. celadonia. If you look over at Australia can't keep any animals and any insects that are not from Australia. American laws are different again, so you really do have to be careful. You do have to double check with your local authority to what animals, what tarantulas you can keep. So yeah, it's different from country to country, so you really do have to double check. But we've all got Google, and that gives you answers pretty quickly to what you can keep in your own country.
All right, now, in your word the other time, you said tarantulas are harmful to human.
Yeah, if
but now
yeah, they can be.
Scott, you said now we can keep them as a pet. Are they not harmful to humans as the one we kept as pet?
Yeah, well, the whole idea is if you're keeping them as pets is you have to observe them like you would a fish in a fish tank. So the whole idea is we don't handle tarantulas unless it's absolutely necessary. We don't mess around with their enclosures too much unless it's absolutely necessary. So like I said, we keep fish in a fish tank, so you keep the fish in the tank and you just sit and you watch them. It's exactly the same with our tarantulas at home. These aren't pets that we get out and show people and all the rest of it. If they're sitting down in their burrow, they're sitting down in their burrow, and that is it, you know?
All right, now I understand you. Now, what are the things we need to do if we are planning to have tarantulas as a pet? Sorry?
Okay, so if you're planning on having a tarantula as a pet, you really need to be kind of doing your research, massively so. So, I mean, on Scott's Inverts on YouTube, which is my channel, I like to do a lot of care videos and husbandry videos. But if you watch one of mine and think, yeah, I want that spider, also go away and do your own research as well as, just in case even I've missed anything. That is the most important thing, is to just do your research and do more research. Some of the tarantulas are faster than others, some are quite slow, some will give you a painful bite immediately, and others will be more prone to flicking hairs instead of. So what we're looking at really is if there's terrestrial setups needed, a fossorial or an arboreal setup. So an arboreal setup is one where we're trying to recreate the forest environment of the actual tarantula living up in the air, up in a tree. The terrestrial setup is the ones where we're trying to recreate the ground dwelling tarantulas, the ones that spend most of their time out and about, moving from place to place. And then the fossorial setups we're trying to create are for those tarantulas that live down deep in a burrow. It has been done in the past where people have been keeping some fossorial tarantulas in only a few inches of soil, where really they need sort of 18 to 20 inches of soil because they burrow down so deep in the wild. So we do have to be looking at, is our tarantula arboreal, is it fossorial, is it terrestrial? There are some species that do go semi-arboreal, and so they require an arboreal setup, so they want some cork bark coming up in the air, but then they also want some substrate to burrow down in, and they will burrow down and come up inside of that. And then obviously temperatures and humidity. Humidity is not a massive problem. If it's a high humidity, we just spray that enclosure down once a week. If it's a medium humidity, we just overfill that water dish, because every single setup that you do for a spider needs a water dish. They all need access to fresh water. So what we do is we keep the area of the water dish nice and damp if it's a medium one. If it's a low humidity, we just keep that water dish topped up, and we spray the enclosure down once a month, as opposed to a week. I only keep one tarantula, which is a Chromatopelma cyanobubescens, a green bottle blue tarantula, which actually requires just a water dish, and that is it. They don't require any damp substrate or any other moisture being added into there because of the part of the world that they're from. So we do need to research what spider we're keeping, the area of the world it's from, and to recreate exactly how they're living in the wild here at home. Like I said, a lot of them are going to be literally just an enclosure full of mud, and you're going to have a hole for where the spider goes down into, and that is going to be it. Others, like I said, need things like tree type enclosures. Others need terrestrial setups with a bottomless hide, so they can go in and burrow down if they want to. But one of the most important things is always make sure that water dish is there. And another thing is feeding. So if you're buying a very, very small tarantula, they're going to need feeding every 3 to 4 days. And as it grows up, it becomes to a large sling. So you're still going to be wanting to feed those every sort of 3 to 4 days. But then as soon as that then you can go down to feed your prey item once a week, and then when they're adults, you're looking at feeding your tarantula once every 2 weeks. In fact, tarantulas can go up to a year without any food at all, which is absolutely mind-blowing. If you guys are anything like me, I can't go several hours without food, let alone a year. But the key thing is to do as much research as you can, as much research as possible. Ask people like me questions, as many questions as you can. If I haven't got the answers, I know where to find those answers for you guys.
Yeah. And now, you have talked about how to take care of it, from the water to the food. Now, you said mostly tarantulas, what they eat is insects, mouse.
Yep.
Some eat birds. Let me say arthropods. Now,
Yep.
How do we find insects for them? How do we feed them when what they eat is insects? Do we go buy them? Do we go into the bush to search for insects, or how?
Okay, so here in the UK, we're quite fortunate. A lot of the suppliers, a lot of the online shops, and a lot of reptile shops as well we've got in the UK will supply feeders, so we can go and buy feeders, live insects. But then also you can breed those at home. I've done a couple of videos on how to breed feeder insects at home. So I keep several colonies. I keep a dubia colony with several thousand individuals in there, and then I also keep red runners. Now what they are is just a dark box, so not much light goes into those. Then at the very top it's just a mesh lid to keep the air going in and out, but to keep the small babies, stop those coming out, and egg crates. So 3/4 of the way across is all egg crates. Then I use gel water. So the little Orbeez, where the gel which turns into like a mushy water when you put water into it. Use that as a water source. We put oranges in there, a lot of broccoli, cabbage, and what happens is the feeder insects will munch on those and then breed, and then we can have a constant supply of insects in our own home as well as. But that's what we do in the UK. What you guys do is you might go out there and might be able to find your own insects which you can bring in and start your own colony off. And if you do start your own colony off, that's very rewarding when you start feeding your tarantulas.
So
what we don't.
You're saying going to the bush is like a plan B, that we can just buy a feeder and feed them fluids.
Yeah, definitely. You can just buy them, or you can make, like I said, or you can breed your own colony. So you've always got a box full of feeders on hand for whenever you want to. It all depends on the size of your collection. I mean, we've got 200 plus tarantulas here, geckos, lizards, and all sorts. So I need several colonies on the go all the while. If you're only keeping sort of 3 to 4, maybe 5 tarantulas, then it's probably a better option just to go out and buy some. If you are buying, the only issue with going into the bush and getting your own is mites. You might find spider mites. Now, if your roaches that you've gone and got from the wild have got spider mites on, and you introduce those into your collection, you're going to have a lot of dead spiders, because eventually those guys will eat away at your spider and kill it, unfortunately. So you have to be exceptionally careful if you're planning on getting anything from out of the wild.
Now, what are the advantages of having tarantula as a pet and the disadvantage? Because everything has pros and cons. So what are the advantages of keeping tarantulas as a pet? What are the disadvantages of keeping tarantulas as a pet? Is there any?
Okay, so it is a double-edged sword. So the disadvantages for us in the UK is a lot of them are not very readily available, and a lot of them are exceptionally expensive. If you're going to keep a big collection, you do need quite a lot of room. If you've got a big collection like I have as well, you're going to need sort of 6 to 10 hours per week for feedings, for doing maintenance, and all the rest of it. Now, also, the spiders, you do not see them very often. They like dark corners. They like to hide away. They're not a social animal. They like to be in nooks and crevices. So if you've got something like this in your enclosure, they're going to be hiding inside here. So you don't see them as much as what you'd think in captivity. The pros are, if you've only got a very small collection, you can feed once a week, you can spray once a week, and do maintenance once a week, and that's all done in a matter of minutes. And the food is very, very cheap. But then, obviously, as well as if you're keeping some nice tarantulas, they can be very calming. I find them very calming. I find them very relaxing. Other animals that are moving around real quick, you know, they're not as relaxing as what tarantulas are. You start watching tarantulas, and they just literally sit there. And they're so relaxed, and you're watching them, and I think that peacefulness rubs off onto yourself as well. And then if you go into breeding tarantulas, it gets really, really rewarding, because it's exceptionally difficult to breed. But when you get a successful egg sac and then it all go to slings, that can be very, very rewarding.
All right. Now, the advantages and disadvantages, you've stated at least three. Now there's a question from one of our top fan listening to us. She said, please, is it true tarantulas are proteinous? I greet you, Mr. Scott.
Are the tarantulas what, sorry?
She said, is it true tarantulas are proteinous?
What do you mean by proteinous?
I don't understand. I don't know. She said, are they proteinous? I don't know. She's trying to no, let me get her point. She's trying to, you know, in Cambodia and Venezuela, they eat tarantulas, and from your point, yes, you said there's nothing wrong in eating tarantulas because we have different diets. Now she's asking, is it proteinous? Is protein part of the vitamins we have in tarantulas?
Is it? Do you mean is it sustainable to eat tarantulas?
Is it healthy? Now let me put it out. Is it healthy to eat tarantulas?
Oh, is it healthy to eat tarantulas? I have never ever looked into eating tarantulas, what the positive effects of eating a tarantula would be. I would think that the hair around the bum, you'd have to burn that off. That would have to be absolutely disappeared, because the hair around the abdomen of New World species, that's what they flick off at you, and that can really, really irritate and make your skin really, really scratchy. So if you're going to eat a tarantula, I think the hair around that bum has got to be gotten rid of. I think the heat and the flame would probably burn those hairs away. But to be completely honest, I've never ever looked at what a tarantula is as a meal, or when somebody eats it, because for me they're beloved pets. Do you know?
Okay, now thank you very much for being with us this morning. Before we go now, what is your word of admonishment to people, to the world, about wildlife, about respecting wildlife, about caring for wildlife, especially tarantula spiders? What is your word of admonishment to them?
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian man, so God's put everything on this earth, and what we're doing now is, I think a lot of companies are just destroying the habitat that we've got. It's making a massive global impact, so we can already see that impact in temperature increases and pollution increase. But everything in the wild is so precious and needs to be preserved. And at the end of the day, I mean, we're virtually going into their house and destroying their environment and their world. And the problem we've got is we as a human race are expanding. And with that, we need more and more room, more and more paper, more and more silicon. All these things come from the forest, palm oil, as well as that's absolutely devastating on the wildlife. But we need everything in place. We need the whole forest systems as they are. That is the lungs of the earth, and we're absolutely devastating that at the moment. So things do need to change. But what we've been given on this planet is absolute beauty. What we create ourselves, our homes,
beyond our imagination,
are nowhere near as beautiful as what is already out there with nature.
So you're saying now that say no to deforestation, say no to the cruel treating of wildlife.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right.
It's even simple things like turning off light switches just to save an extra couple of pence.
All right, now, so is there any facts about this giant spider we're talking about that makes them unique? Like there's unique facts from other wildlife.
The world's biggest tarantulas. The world's biggest tarantula, the Theroposa blondie, they have fangs that reach up to 2.5 inches, which is the biggest fangs in the whole of the tarantula species, full stop. Also, their leg span is the biggest, up to 15 inches. Those and the apophysis both go up to 15-inch leg spans, so that's the biggest by far. The blondie literally looks like a spider. If you, it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the spider world. So its legs are absolutely humongous. Its carapace, which is the back part, is massive as well compared to other tarantulas. And then they've got like a blonde colorization, and the venom from these guys, from the biggest tarantula in the world, isn't very strong. In fact, it's ineffective to humans. We would just suffer a puncture wound if they ever bit us.
All right, thank you very much for that, for stating out the facts. Now, Scott, thank you for being with us. Stay tuned. Let's listen to we have a professor from University of Calabar here in Nigeria that dedicates a song for conservationists, that dedicated and trying to pass a message across to people to stop the killing of wildlife, irrespective of how small they might look. We should stop killing them. So I want everyone to listen to the lyrics of this music. And if you have any questions to ask Scott, feel free to drop it in the comment section or call the studio line right here. It's +234 80 2179 3318. Your program, my program, World of Animals, continues. Stay tuned.
The monkeys, yeah. Where are the parrots? Where are the crocodiles and the manatees? Where are the dolphins that were swimming in the fen. Where are the elephants? Where are they? There are many diseases that are caused by bushmeat. They are real, they are so real. So you need to stop. Corona, Ebola, antivirus, Lassa fever, HIV. You need to stop. Our hunters, are killing the animals, every day. They need to stop. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wisest of wildlife. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wisest of wildlife. So you gotta stop. So you need to stop, just stop. Yeah, stop killing the monkeys, killing the parrots, killing the elephants. Stop. So you gotta stop our hunters. Yeah, stop. You need to stop killing the animals. Stop. We need them. Stop. We need conservation, sustainability, livelihood from the wisest of our wildlife. We need conservation, sustainability, livelihood. Where are the monkeys? Yeah. Where are the parrots? Where are the crocodiles and the manatees? Where are the dolphins that were swimming in the fen? Where are the elephants? Where are they? There are many diseases that are caused by bushmeat. They are real, they are so real. So you need to stop. Corona, Ebola, antivirus, Lassa fever, HIV. You need to stop. Our hunters, are killing the animals, every day. They need to stop. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wisest of wildlife. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wisest of wildlife. So you gotta stop. So you need to stop, just stop. Yeah, stop killing the monkeys, killing the parrots, killing the elephants. So you gotta stop our hunters. Yeah, stop. You need to stop killing the animals. We need them. We need conservation, sustainability, livelihood from the wise use of our wildlife. We need conservation, sustainability, livelihood from the wise use of our wild. Where are the monkeys? Yeah. Where are the parrots? Where are the crocodiles and the manatees? Where are the dolphins that were swimming in the Thames? Where are the elephants? Where are they? There are many diseases that are caused by bushmeat. They are real, they are so real. So you need to stop. Corona, Ebola, antivirus, Lassa fever, HIV. You need to stop. Our hunters, are killing the animals, every day. They need to stop. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wise use of a wild. So we need conservation, we need sustainability, we need from the wise use of a wildlife. So you gotta stop. So you need to stop, just stop. Yeah, stop killing the monkeys, killing the parrots, killing the elephants. Stop. So you gotta stop our hunters. Yeah, stop. You need to stop killing the animals. Stop. We need them. Stop. We need.
Welcome back. We're so sorry for that little break in transmission. We're so sorry. Our brave and genius engineers have rectified the issues. So we are back online now on God Vision Broadcasting Network, and the program World of Animals continues, but it's saddened that we won't be able to continue because of our time. So Scott, are you still with us? Yeah, so we are very sorry for that delaying.
It's okay.
Yeah, you've listened to the music, and all of you have listened to me. So we have a question before we go, Scott, for you. Someone asked, but is it true that tarantulas are killed by wasp?
Real estate are the safest investment in the world. Properties that cannot be lost, stolen, or carried away if purchased with a reliable and safest consultancy in the world. Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited. Yes, Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited are experts in estate consultancy, property management, and property development. Are you looking for the best real estate property manager? Contact Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited today for a reliable service. Benzo & Co Nigerian Limited is located at number 7 Babalola Bisesa Street off Lodge Street, direct road from JVM Hospital in Limfalafia, Ibadan. Telephone 0805-621-9190 or 0706-556-0002 or send a mail to benzo.conigLtd@yahoo.com. At Benzo Nigerian Limited, it's tangible, it's solid, it's beautiful.